Well, it's a piece of New York and American literary and artistic history that many of you may only know by name, the Algonquin Round Table. Well, the new book's out that spotlights the people, the places, and the works that have made the Round Table an American icon. And Andrew, he sat down with the author just yesterday.
And it certainly was something of a lesson, Rich. Now, many of us may not know the names, but consider this. The New Yorker magazine, the Marx Brothers, Citizen Kane, the play You Can't Take It With You, which is on Broadway once again today, and the writer Dorothy Parker, all with part of their roots at this daily lunch gathering that happened almost every day for a decade in the 1920s. All at the same table, all in the same room, all at the same legendary hotel on 44th Street in Manhattan. Author Kevin Fitzpatrick has put together an essential primer on it all, the Algonquin Round Table, New York, a historical guide. Yesterday, I joined the author to learn more. We borrowed 2 seats of the legendary table. The seats themselves belong to the ages. Kevin, the members of the Algonquin Round Table, the vicious circle, as they call it, it's an amazing collection just from going through your book. Journalists, authors, columnists, 5 Pulitzer Prize winners, actors, the founder of the New Yorker, the person who wrote the screenplay for Citizen Kane, talent agents, Harpo Marx. What an amazing group of people ate in this room in the Algonquin Hotel every single day.
I mean, you're sitting in the spot where one of those people was sitting, which is an amazing thing to think about, that in these 12 square feet of Manhattan real estate, 95 years later, you can come back and sit in the same place that Harpo Marx or Herman Mankiewicz or Harold Ross was into. So it's pretty neat.
What is it about that group of people, beyond just the things that they did, the collection of such noteworthy people in one place every day for a decade?
I think it's today, I mean, imagine going out to lunch with a friend every day, 6 days a week, and you're collaborating with someone to create a hit show or a book or a script or a magazine. So they were very good networkers and collaborators, and I think that's what we remember today, is the things they accomplished as a group and as friends.
I was racking my brain after reading the book, trying to think of a present-day equivalent to the Algonquin Round Table. We see or hear about places where people, celebrities meet or they mingle, but they're not all gathered at the same table. In your thoughts on this, is there anything remotely like the Algonquin Round Table in modern day society?
I think really it's on social media. I think if you looked at like what Whitstream does on Twitter, where people are getting together virtually, because who honestly goes out to lunch any longer? I mean, it's very hard to go out to lunch, much less go out with a different person every day to do something like that. So to get a group of that kind of talent together, I don't think it's possible. But you could do it if you're sitting in front of your computer or on your phone or something. You say in the book, to be a Round Table member, you had to be talented, witty, and charming. What did they talk about sitting in this spot? They did a lot of topical things, because there were so many newspaper columnists sitting at the table that had to create a column every day. What they would do is what was said at the table that day, and it would be in the next day's paper or that afternoon's newspaper for the afternoon papers. They talked about current events. They talked about shows they were doing. Franklin P. Adams, who was a columnist, he wrote the most about them, and he talked about that they told stories, they told jokes. They did they one-upped each other. They saved up their jokes for the good ones to get Haywood Broun said, repartee is what you wish you had said. So a lot of them, they would think of something and save it and bring it to the table and drop it on everyone like a bomb. So it seems like it was all about being witty, being funny, sort of one-upping each other the way that you might with your friends, except these were some extraordinary friends. Was there a deep conversation? It wasn't weighty matters, it wasn't affairs of state, it was simple observations? They were a fairly serious group as well. I mean, both Dorothy Parker and Haywood Broun protested Sacco and Vanzetti's execution. Parker was arrested in Boston. They were very political. Some of them ended up on the FBI watch list, like Parker and Donald Ogden Stewart, whose FBI file is very thick. So they were very, left-leaning. And in the 20s and 30s, a lot of them got very involved in labor organizations, and Parker helped found the Screenwriters Guild. So it wasn't all just fun and games. They did, have a serious bent too. This is a group that met. It's almost 100 years since they first got together, and yet their legacy lives on in books like yours, or in movies that come up, or just in people who come to the Algonquin simply to be a part of this moment or sit in front of this painting of some of the members of the Round Table. Why has their legacy endured so well so long? I think it's because they were pioneers. They're ahead of their time. They have their pulse on pop culture at the moment. I mean, think about what they left us. You know, they launched the New Yorker, which started in this hotel, which is celebrating its 90th birthday this month. You know, they created, you know, lasting hits. You know, Edna Ferber dreamed up Showboat there. Citizen Kane came out of Herman Mankiewicz's experience as a newspaperman while he was working here. So a lot of those folks saw what was happening in pop culture the era, and it just continued on into today. I think people remember.
You're a Dorothy Parker historian. You probably have forgotten more about her than I'll ever know in my entire life. Is she the member of the Round Table who resonates with you the most, and if not, who is that?
I think it's Dorothy Parker. I mean, she was a fantastic writer. She had bad relationships, bad jobs, bad apartments, was a freelancer, so I identify with those kinds of things. But I think a lot of folks like her because what she was writing about in the 20s is still as relevant today. I mean, Getting Her Heart Broken in 1924 is just as popular in 2015. So she's writing about the human condition, so I think that's why she's still so popular and so well read. Some of the others, though, I mean, George S. Kaufman is on Broadway right now. I mean, so people still do talk about them in different ways and in different mediums.
There is much more to my interview with author Kevin Fitzpatrick. Head online and search YouTube for Richard French to find the full interview. Two final thoughts. One, anyone can sit at the Algonquin Round Table. Just contact the Algonquin Hotel and make a reservation. And two, how ubiquitous is the legacy of the Algonquin Round Table? Well, we call our panel discussions on RFL roundtables. We're just usually not as witty or as insightful as that group was, Rich.
Amen,
or at least
Andrew.
for lack of trying.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Nice piece. Now, when we come back, everyone, we will take a look at news making headlines in the Hudson Valley. Stay with us.